one of the more underrated matchups in week 5, Coastal Carolina and Georgia Southern face off in what was going to be a really exciting game and still is. It just doesn't have the same importance. It's just a different importance for both teams. I think Coastal Carolina's struggles so far this year aren't surprising, but also still can be disappointing. I think that this was a run under Jamie Chadwell that was really fun to watch. Coastal Carolina had a lot of good things happen, and you did get Grayson called to come back. And it's just disappointing to see this team have some struggles. Now, that doesn't mean that they're a bad team. That means that they have some things to figure out. But so far, there have been some disappointing things on both offense and defense. But this is still a group that has very much everything in front of them, and they're facing a Georgia Southern team that is kind of all over the place as well. So we'll kind of dive into the details of that. The first thing that is a big key is turnovers, and I think this is might be the biggest margin in turnover margin. Coastal Carolina sits at +5 on the year, so they're very good at taking away the football and not giving it back. Georgia Southern is very good at giving the ball away and not taking it back. So that is a something that I think plays a huge role in this game. I mean, Davis Brin had plenty of struggles at Tulsa, and those have appeared to carry over to Georgia Southern. He's an extremely talented player who can play at a high level, but there's also this side of him that you can throw 3 to 5 interceptions in a game in a heartbeat. This is not something that you look at the Wisconsin game that got out of hand quickly, and it's because Davis Brin was not careful with the football. He already has a number of turnovers and 7 interceptions on the year already. So he needs to figure it out. This passing attack is too good to be able to slow down themselves. You cannot do that, especially in Coastal Carolina. Yes, Coastal Carolina is not what it used to be, but this is still a team that is good. They are still a good Sun Belt team, and they will win games if you're able to give them more opportunities to score. You're not going to give Grayson McCall more opportunities to put points on the board and expect to win that football game. And coincidentally, that turnover margin plays a huge role and probably determines the outcome in this game. I think that if you have to pick one thing, it's going to be who takes care of the football better. Mostly is if Georgia Southern takes care of the football better, because if Georgia Southern does not turn over, I think that they can win this game. I think that they are the more explosive team and they can score quicker than Coastal Carolina can right now. Passing attack is really where that will come into play because Georgia Southern's throwing for over 340 yards a game. Coastal Carolina's allowing just over 206. So something's got to give there. This is a very good passing attack against, honestly, a secondary that is better than a lot of people expected. So that will be a key. I think slowing down, like I said, slowing down Georgia Southern's passing attack, getting Davis Brin to make some questionable throws, putting him in tough situations, or requiring him to make tougher throws gives you an opportunity to create turnovers or get the ball back to your offense with stops, with punts, and whatnot. I think on the offensive side of the ball, Coastal Carolina, the disappointing thing about them more than anything is their struggles running the football. They are currently 92nd in rush offense this year. That is not what I expected from a group that returns a number of talented players. You have CJ Beasley back, Braden Bennett was back, Reese White. You have so many talented players, and yet you are struggling to move the ball on the ground. Now, some of that has to do with the offensive line, but you have a group that has too much talent to not be able to run the football. And I think another thing that can help is letting Jarrett Brown help. I think the talent that he has, the speed that he has, can open up the field east and west, but also north and south. You have to find a way to utilize his talent a little bit more. Getting him more touches probably isn't a bad thing. And it also helps a guy like Grayson McCall make some more throws, make some more key decisions, and it allows this offense to open things up. I think that this is a group that's been hurting for explosive plays and finding ways to utilize talent that is better than everyone else. Jared Brown is the fastest player on this field, and I think that you can find a way to put him in favorable matchups consistently. And doing so gives you an opportunity to open things up, rediscover that explosiveness that you once had on offense, and it gives the passing attack another option as well because Jared Brown has the speed to be able to affect a game like that. and it gets guys like Sam Pinckney more opportunities to catch balls downfield. It gets that rushing attack opportunities to stretch the field as well. We talked about the quarterbacks, and they still play a huge role. And Grayson McCall is one of the best at taking care of the football. And on the other hand, it's almost, Grayson McCall is really good taking care of the football. Davis Brin is the almost the opposite. He's the anti Grayson McCall in terms of taking care of the football. That being said, Grayson McCall is just so talented where he can throw for 400 or 500 yards in a heartbeat. He is so good. It's just that the turnovers really dictate how successful he'll be and how many yards he'll throw for because he can be really good. His roller coaster also means that he can be really bad. Grayson McCall is more that steadying force, that steadying hand, and that's really what helps Coastal Carolina a lot in this game is that they know their quarterback takes care of the football and gets the ball to his playmakers. Learning a new system obviously has taken some time, but you're still looking at a talented player that can make things happen. And we talked about Jared Brown, his ability to open up the field and open up the offense. Braden Bennett's a good player. He's the leading rusher for this team. It's just that, like I said before, the rushing attack has left something to be desired. Clayton Isbell is a player that will play a huge role because this passing attack for Georgia Southern is so good. And this offense has so much talent. The rushing attack appears to be just as good as we expected, if not better. OJ Arnold's emergence has been really exciting, gives them another weapon to utilize. The passing attack, though, is obviously what everyone's focused on, and it appears to be as explosive as we anticipated. Derwin Burgess Jr. and Caleb Hood are having good years, and we're expecting big numbers from them. And they have a big test against Coastal Carolina. I think Coastal Carolina's secondary, extremely talented to be able to slow down this passing attack. And like I said before, predicting this game is easy because it comes down to who takes care of the football, and you're betting on which team can do that. And right now, if you have to bet which team can be smarter and have better ball security, that's Coastal Carolina. But if Georgia Southern takes care of the football, then this game easily swings in their favor. It's just that we have yet to see I think a consistent game from Davis Brin and against a quality competitor. That's the biggest thing. They may be able to put up some points and put up some yards with certain teams that aren't as good as them, but they have to find a way to do it against teams like Coastal Carolina. And right now, if I'm given a prediction, I'm going to lean Coastal Carolina, their experience, their ability to create turnovers, and their ability to play smart. And right now, I think that's the biggest difference. And if I'm wrong, it's because Davis Brin finds a way to take care of the football and shreds the secondary. But Coastal Carolina, to me, feels like the safer pick.